5 habits that have changed my life. Some I've had over the years and others I still struggle with. Hi, I'm Alexis from FlexisFitness.com, a community of women who believe that fitness is only about looking in shape, but about being in great shape. Let's get into it. Habit number 1 is to drink water before every meal. So it's super important to increase your water intake because water allows you to flush out toxins, keeps you hydrated to increase your energy, and it also allows you to feel full so you're less likely to overeat. So I've always struggled with my water intake because I've always found the taste very bland, and especially during the winter, during the cold months when my body feels it doesn't know it's dehydrated, I find it really hard to bring myself to drink water. And when I was a teen, I would always reach out for iced tea or artificially flavored waters, but really this was always excess calories and excess sugars. So by telling myself to drink water 30 minutes before every meal, it allows me to stay more consistent with my water intake. So you should give it a try if you struggle with this too. So the second habit is stop looking at calories. Calories are not the same thing as nutrients. So back in the day when I was starting off my fitness journey, I was only focusing on calories because I thought that's what you need to do to lean out. But the problem with that is I was avoiding foods that were nutrient dense, and I would choose foods that were low fat, low calorie, low sugar. But really, those foods, those processed foods, were just hurting my body because they weren't real food. Calories are a unit of the amount of energy in a food, whereas nutrients are things like carbs, fat, protein, fiber. So that's what makes up the food. Here's the thing, your body doesn't respond to calories, it responds to nutrients. So that's why it's so important of what type of food you're eating. For example, if we take 100 calories of olive oil versus 100 calories of sugar, these are both the same amount of calories, so their energy value is the same, yet their nutrient profiles are completely different. So how your body responds to them is going to be completely different. You're going to feel more energized when you have the olive oil, whereas when you have 100 calories of sugar, you're going to feel sluggish, tired, brain fog, and just overall low in energy. So this is why it's important to think in terms of physiology, what's going on in your body, versus thinking about calories. Because how calories are measured are basically you take a food, you burn it to see how much energy it burns, and that's the caloric value. But just because you eat so many calories, it doesn't mean that all these calories are going to give your body the same amount of fuel. For example, if you take a piece of paper and you burn it, you'll get a caloric value. But then if you go and eat this piece of paper, you're not going to get those calories. Your body's not going to use that fuel for energy. So that's why it's important to forget about the calories and focus on what type of food you're eating to make sure you're getting the proper nutrients. Habit number 3, have a bedtime routine. So back in university, I was a student. I would stay up late studying, wake up early in the morning to go work out or study some more. So I was averaging 4 to 6 hours of sleep per night. I had the more is better mentality. So I just kept telling myself, I'll sleep when I'm dead, and I kept chugging Starbucks coffee. Until one day it hit me really, really hard. I fainted in the school library, which is pretty funny now that I look back, except this is when I finally woke up and told myself, maybe I'm not getting enough sleep. Maybe I'll feel better during my workouts and I'll feel more alert during the day if I get more sleep at night. I told myself I would sleep an average of 7 hours per night, and that lasted about 2 weeks until I fell back into my bad habit. And in between university and now, things didn't really get any better because I was working a full-time job and trying to build Flexis Fitness. So I was still lacking that sleep. Finally, 3 months ago, I decided to make a change and came up with a bedtime routine. Every night, 1 hour before I go to bed, I have an alarm that goes off to tell me to stop working. So this allows me to wind down. And during this hour, I get PJs, brush my teeth, wash my face, and I'll do mobility and reading. By doing this the night before, you're setting yourself up for success the next morning. Habit number 4 is developing a growth mindset. This is about pushing ourselves to be better at whatever we want to become. We tend to put ourselves in boxes and think that we can't get out. For example, when I was growing up, I was always really strong in math and sciences, but I really struggled at being creative and communicating my ideas. But I was always told that everybody has their strengths and it's okay not to be good at this. So I never put effort in to work at this. Until I grew up and I realized these are 2 important skills that are good to have. So I started working at it. You can even see the difference if you compare my very first YouTube videos to today's. You can tell that I wasn't so comfortable in front of the camera, and that took 17 takes to take 1 clip. So you could just imagine how much I've improved and how much I've been working on improving the way I communicate my ideas. And I'm still working on that to this day. It's all about shifting into a positive mindset. So instead of looking at how bad you are today, You have to look at it as what you can become. This is the first step to improving, by acknowledging that you have a problem, that you need to work on something so that you can improve. We're our own worst critics, and that's okay, because just because you have a bad habit today doesn't mean that you can't change it for the better in the future. You can start making small changes today and they will add up over time, because you don't have to be perfect at something right now. Just as long as you're working towards it, you will get better. The best way to track your improvement is to look back every 3 months. If you're not improving, then you're gonna have to reevaluate what you're doing, and you may have to change some things to keep on improving. And that may require a bit more effort. If you are improving, then great, what you're doing is working out. But I'm sure you'll look back and be happy on your improvement. Habit number 5 is to listen to podcasts. This is something new for me and I absolutely love it. I listen to a podcast in the morning while I'm getting ready, while I'm cooking, and even sometimes when I'm working out. And it's great because I'm constantly learning something new. I definitely recommend you to check it out. You could just research whatever interests you on YouTube, and you could type podcast next to it or talk, and you'll find something that suits you. One more thing is, do something that makes you happy.